Okay, so we're going back to Into the Future, but I just noticed there's a zombie outbreak. As you can see, I have 17 out of 48 of those on this chapter. The others I can't check right now, but yeah. So I'm going to show off how zombie outbreaks work real quick. So in the corner you see this outbreak button. You click it, and it takes you to this purple stage. Now, this one is actually different than the one we originally did. So we're gonna see what that's about. Zombies actually do stack according to the player level as well. So yeah. I'm still on my main equip, but I'll just use this, I guess. As you can see, we have got our amigo now as well. This little funky boy with the golden background. So that's basically just, well, that's Samba Cat, but now he does 5% knockback against everything. Which is quite useful, depending on how you look at it. It's not that reliable, but it does work on everything except metal, so it can definitely have some uses. Also, they're funky, they're Mexican, and they have nice colors, so I like them. To unlock that, you need to do an awakening stage, which that was a very, very long and boring stage. I just did not want to record that. I did the expert stage because there's an expert and an insane one, and the second part is way too difficult for this point of the game. But I'm gonna have to get this treasure as well first. Okay, that took way too many attempts, but now we have that maxed out, so that's great. So off to Madagascar we go. Just gonna use Seafarer because he has pretty good DPS. So those were Gabriels, which are angel dogs, and they do area attacks and attack very, very fast. They have a similar mechanic to Dodge Dark, which is to stop as soon as they hit something. There's a metal hippo, great. There's two metal hippos, even better. Okay, so we're gonna have to brute force those. And there we go. And off to Kenya we go. And now this is stage 26 of 48. And I believe this also introduces a new enemy. There's a lot of new enemies in this chapter, I know that much. Okay, so that's Gory Black. Also the reason why we're stacking UFO cats, because... Okay, never mind, they're dead. I was gonna say they're pretty weak against splash damage, but I guess my UFO cats are weak to splash damage as well. So yeah, that's why I don't use UFO that much. Yeah, there's generally very strong gories with high attack rate. Okay, Saudi Arabia. Okay, that was quite a slow stage. Accidentally activated a blood fruit, which I think is the anti-red one. Yeah, that's anti-red. So that says attacks against red enemies are slightly more effective. It just means that stuff like freeze and slow lasts like a few frames longer, which is not bad, but it won't make the world of difference right now. Okay, so now we get to the Sahara, which will in fact be a new alien. One of the most hated aliens in the game as well. Like, I see so much hate for this guy, and I can understand why, because he's just very annoying. Okay, so this thing is called Ursa Major, and it's basically a teacher bear, but on very high steroids. As you can see, he obliterates everything he touches, he attacks very fast, and he has the same range as Teacher Bear, so that's just great. Our main counter for this is gonna be Bahamut because of how fast he moves. Okay, so as you can see, this guy also gains attack power when at low health, which means he will one-shot pretty much everything. And that makes him ever so slightly more threatening because he's getting very close to Bahamut Cat now. Okay, he barely didn't one-shot him. He will most definitely one-shot Bahamut in later chapters though, because Ursa Major gets such a painful damage boost. I think it's like 200%, and it definitely feels like a... I don't think Ghana has... Ghana? Ghana. Okay, that's an angelic hippo. Yeah, so considerably faster area attacks and considerably tankier and way higher damage. Other than that, not much to note actually. Literally just Hippo on steroids. Okay, that'll cover that stage. I'm not gonna use leaderships anymore. I'm just gonna pause. And I'll be back when I have more energy, so yeah. Okay, so I just did Greenland and that stage sucked. Bahamut did not hit those bears and good lord, it is a pain. I'm gonna replace UFO with Titan for a minute because This is New York. New York is a painful stage. A lot of these stages come down to the same thing. Spam AoE and just kill the enemy. Well, that is basically battle cats, but yeah. Yeah, like Ursa Majors are such a pain to deal with. They have a ton of health, they tank 2 Bahamut hits, they can 2-shot him as well. They have enough range to outrange my pole vaulters, which is a massive problem. So I just do not like those. Not at all. Now, New York is a different type of stage. This is again one of those enemies you only see like 1 or 2 times in the chapter, and it's not really a dangerous enemy, it's more just an annoying one. Okay, so this is Elizabeth the 16th, I believe, which will be the first enemy we see that uses waves. Now, waves are basically a double attack that does the base damage of the enemy, which is a really bad thing because they have high pierce, high damage, and it doubles their DPS. Now, our unit should be able to tank her hits for the moment, but we will have severe issues with this one later in chapters. Yeah, I recommend Castaway / Seafarer if you have that. Generally great unit for this. Obviously the only thing that can actually tank hits from this woman is just Titan Cat. Like, so much damage output. Even my Bahamut just died. I might have to restart because she does so much damage. Jesus, bro. How much health do you have? Okay, we're gonna have to restart. Now my Titan Cat is level 24, I believe, which is still considerably lower than it could actually be, but yeah. It's not like he's super low level, like he is fairly tanky. So the fact she just kills him like that is not fun. I'm gonna build up some more cash, I think that's probably a good idea. There's multiple ways you could approach this, I guess. I'd say stacking stuff like Bahamut is probably one of them. And this is not easy with low amounts of cash, like... She does so much base damage, it's kind of insane. Okay, there she goes. Yeah, that is not an easy enemy to kill with low level units. So yeah, just avoid meat shielding if you can, because it's gonna create more waves and you don't want that because then it's gonna hit your backliners a lot more. If you have any elemental pixies or dark heroes, use those. Just you'll save yourself so much trouble. I believe this is a very black heavy stage, which means they will push very hard. Which is quite a contrast after having a wave stage. From no mage shields to 4, because why not? Okay, yeah, that's the black enemies. That's the black enemy. This is again why Paris Cat would be very useful, but sadly we don't have her. That is an IM face, which is actually pretty bad, because that means we can't stack anything. That's kind of scary, like, a normal enemy is already upgraded to what is now a mini-boss. So that's great. Like a normal boss is upgraded to a mini-boss now, that's what I was trying to say. Okay, there we go. There goes Bahamut as well, but we don't need him anymore, I guess. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use more Katja in the next chapter, because this is gonna be painful otherwise. I don't feel like grinding my normal cats up to like plus 20 for this, so, you know. Which stage is this? This is the 45th. I guess we're almost at the end. Which is great. I don't not like this chapter very much. That is not what I was expecting to spawn. I guess what I was thinking of was in a different chapter one, which is actually bad thing. Because what I was thinking of is a lot easier to stall than an Ursa Major. And multiple hypos. Bahamut nuke everything. There we go. Which means this is stage 46. And the last one I'll need for treasure. So does this introduce the last enemy then? I see a metal hippo. Got my spacey boy over here. Not the best crit attacker, but it's better than nothing. If you're wondering, I got that from a red cyclone, which video on that is coming sometime in the future. It'll depend on when I get the others done. Is there actually a boss wave on this one? I don't remember. I'd prefer it if there wasn't, because that make farming a lot easier. That was an easy stage to round things up. Superior football. I won't even have to play it again. Okay, so next stage is Floating Continent, which is gonna be very difficult, I presume. But I will have to get treasure for that, so yeah, snap. Okay, so I got all the superior treasures in the meantime, and now we can do Floating Continents and the moon. For Floating Continents, I am going to use a different gacha unit called Psycho Cat, because I need aliens slow or freeze if I want to actually do this. Because this stage is incredibly difficult without any decent stallers. Now, my best staller would probably be Castaway, but I would prefer using Psycho Cat because it's slightly more reliable, and just generally it's more obtainable, so you'll be able to see more how it fits into your gameplay, I guess. Not saying you'll have it, because sometimes you don't, and that will be very painful, I know that feeling. Okay, so this stage starts out with a bunch of angel hippos, as well as some normal peons, but yeah. We're going to want to stack up a lot of damage in the early stages of this one, because those do a lot of damage and you do not want them to stack too hard. I would prefer not pushing too hard, because then we're gonna get shredded by the boss in this stage, but yeah. Yeah, I recommend Artist for this, because he actually has the HP to tank this, but yeah, the start is the hardest part of this. Some random Gabriels that will be in the way. These aren't that much of a menace. I'm gonna start stacking Psycho Cats because I want a reliable slow, and that is not always achievable. I don't have much cash right now, which is actually not a good thing. Okay, so that's Nimoy Boar, which we haven't actually seen the normal boar yet, but we will in Stories of Legend probably. Yeah, this guy is very annoying. He pushes incredibly hard, has knockback, and you need stallers for him, or he will just push towards your base. Now obviously my Psycho Cats are not proccing at all, which is great. Okay, there we go. There we go. Please keep him procced. That is not good. Okay, they procced on the Crocs though, but not on the Nimoy Boar. Yeah, so obviously this is quite RNG reliant, but it's generally not the hardest stage, but it can be very annoying in later chapters. I might have to restart just because of how bad the RNG is right now. I'm gonna have to restart. That's just how this stage works. Okay, there we go. This stage is always very stressful. Because yeah, you need to rely on the procs, and not being behind the Nimoy does not make things easier. Now, True Form Psycho Cat does attack faster, but it is also quite expensive to get that, so personally I would not grind for it, but just see what works for you, I guess. Like, if you have higher user rank, you can get them to level 30, you can True Form them, and you could make this considerably easier on yourself. And now onto the moon, which will be a lot worse, I imagine. Or maybe a lot easier, it'll depend. That is a horrible score. So for the moon I am going to change up my strats completely. You need very tanky units for this, or you need gacha. One of the two. Yeah. Immediately starts off with I forget your name. I actually forget what you're called. I know the angelic one is called Cly 1, but I do not remember what your name is. The reason I'm using Swimmer is because this thing counts as floating, and it's a fast unit that can actually get close to it, as well as doing massive damage to it. Because this thing has massive range, and also very tanky. Also weakens. I forgot it weakens. Okay, why is there a double mod? I thought there wasn't going to be anything ranged like that. You have to be joking. Why are you here? Okay. Okay, so that's not gonna work. Jesus Christ, that was way too close. Okay, that's Elizabeth down. Okay, so if you're gonna play this, get your true forms if you want an easier type, because this is a pain. Like, Jesus, man. Well, that's another chapter that. I have never sweated so hard on a Cly 1 stage. Oh, clear bonus, a new chapter of the sagas here, Cats of the Cosmos is now available. So that's a way harder version of this, basically. Scratch out that code, will you? And yeah, next one we do, we can unlock a True Form Valkyrie, Holy Valkyrie. Which is quite crisp, but at the same time that is going to be something for another day, because that is... I am not trying that right now. I got my ass beaten in that, like, Jesus, that took way too much work. So we'll come back to that one. Apparently there's a treasure chest here. A mystery reward. I don't even remember what that is. But yeah, Cats of the Cosmos is basically a way harder version of Into the Future. Which I will not be trying right now. And now we have zombie outbreaks in chapter 1, so that's great. Those are probably gonna be very difficult. So yay!